Imagine waking up on your 10th birthday to a table loaded with gifts, designer sneakers, the latest gaming console, and envelopes stuffed with cash. Your father kisses your forehead, your mother laughs. Relatives fill every chair. From the outside, it looks like any wealthy family celebrating a child they adore. But two men with earpieces stand near the door. The curtains are always drawn. And no one, not once, mentions what your father actually does for a living. That is the world you were born into as the son of a mafia leader. A world where love and danger share the same address, where luxury is real, and so is the threat lurking just beneath it. The first thing you learn is that your family is not like other families, even if no one says so out loud. You attend a good school, wear clean clothes, take vacations. Your father is charming and well-dressed. Neighbors respect him. Local officials shake his hand at community events. The public version of your family is carefully constructed and fiercely protected. But behind closed doors, you start picking up signals that other children simply do not receive. Conversations stop when you enter a room. Certain uncles appear and disappear without explanation. Your father takes phone calls at 2 in the morning, and his voice drops to something low and flat that you have never heard him use with you. You do not ask. You already understand, somewhere deep and instinctive, that asking is not allowed. The unspoken rules arrive early and they arrive hard. Loyalty to family above everything. Above friends, above teachers, above the law. Secrecy as a survival skill, not a preference. Obedience not because your father demands it with his fist, but because the entire atmosphere of your home makes disobedience feel genuinely dangerous. You learn to read the room before you speak. You learn which topics are invisible. You learn that the family name carries weight that you did not choose and cannot put down. These lessons are never written anywhere. They are absorbed through 1,000 small moments, a look across the dinner table, a hushed warning from an older cousin, the way your mother's shoulders tighten when a stranger gets too close. Fear becomes ordinary, and that is perhaps the strangest part of all. You grow up with bodyguards the way other kids grow up with babysitters. They're just there. Large, quiet, always watching. You do not think of it as unusual until you visit a friend's house and realize their father drives himself to the grocery store alone. There are moments of sudden violence too, not always directed at you, but near enough to leave a mark. A man is dragged from a room, a car window is shattered. Someone disappears from your social circle, and the adults pivot the conversation so fast that you learn to pivot with them. Over time, the baseline of what feels normal shifts dramatically. Tension becomes background noise, caution becomes personality. And then there is the weight of inheritance. Not money, but expectation. From the time you're old enough to sit at the table, there is an assumption building around you like pressure in a sealed room. You are the son. The name continues through you. Your father's reputation, his alliances, his enemies, all of it has your last name on it too. Men look at you differently than they look at other boys. There is a mixture of respect and calculation in their eyes that you feel before you can name it. Your father may never directly say that you will one day take his place, but everything around you says it. The introductions, the education and certain kinds of loyalty, the gradual pulling back of curtains to show you more of what he actually controls. You are being shaped, and the emotional pressure of that shaping is immense. You are expected to be strong, composed, and proud of something you never chose. The grief, the confusion, the moments when you simply want a normal life. Those feelings have no sanctioned place in the culture you were born into. So you carry them quietly, the way you have been taught to carry everything. Because in this world, even your feelings belong to the family. As you move into adulthood, the weight you have been carrying quietly starts pressing down in ways that are impossible to ignore. The name that opened doors when you were a child now follows you into every room, every relationship, every version of the future you try to imagine for yourself. Friendships become complicated in ways most people never experience. You are never entirely sure whether someone wants to know you or wants access to your father. Romantic partners sense that something in your life is locked away, and they are right. Trust, which most people take as a starting point, feels like a luxury you cannot afford. Every new connection comes with a background calculation. What do they know? What will they discover? And what happens if they do? Some sons of powerful figures learn to keep people at a deliberate distance. Others let people in and live with the quiet terror of that choice. Either way, intimacy becomes a negotiation between desire and danger, and genuine closeness is extraordinarily rare. The moral conflict that builds through all of this is not dramatic in the way films portray it. It is slow and grinding. You watch people outside your world build ordinary lives, careers they chose freely, relationships built on transparency, the simple ability to tell someone what their father does at a dinner party. You feel the pull of that life the way you feel hunger. But every time you reach toward it, loyalty pulls back. Not always through threat or force, but through something harder to fight: love. You love your father, you love your family, and the organization is so completely woven into that family that separating them feels like trying to remove your own spine. Walking away from the mob does not just mean leaving a job. It means leaving your identity, your history, and the people who raised you. And if you do try to walk away, the risks are not abstract. Leaving the organization, depending on how deep your family sits within it, can mean becoming a liability. People who carry operational knowledge, who know names and relationships and debts, do not simply retire. Some families allow a quiet exit if a son proves he can be trusted with silence. Others make that exit impossible by design. The deeper you are pulled in, the more dangerous your departure becomes for everyone involved, including you. There are sons who have tried and found themselves isolated, monitored, or worse. There are others who cooperated with authorities and spent years in witness protection, trading one kind of captivity for another. The psychological cost of all of this accumulates in ways that are hard to fully articulate. Paranoia becomes a constant companion, a baseline vigilance about who is listening, who is watching, whether today is a day something goes wrong. Guilt compounds over time as you become more aware of the real harm connected to your family's operations. The people who were hurt, the communities that were exploited, the violence that funded the life you lived. You did not choose any of it, but the benefits landed in your account anyway, and that knowledge sits in you like something you cannot digest. On top of that, the inherited expectations never expire. Even if your father is gone, the organization remembers whose son you are. The role that was quietly prepared for you does not simply evaporate. So the central question, the one that haunts every son born into this world, is whether freedom is even possible. Not freedom in the legal sense, but the deeper kind. The freedom to build a life that is genuinely yours, to be known without the architecture of fear and secrecy holding everything up. Some manage to build a version of it, usually through enormous sacrifice and distance and years of deliberate reconstruction. Many do not. The name is too heavy, the ties too deep, the exit too costly. And that is the truth that the glamour of organized crime almost always obscures. Power without freedom is not power. It is a very expensive cage. The son of a mafia leader grows up with everything that looks like advantage: wealth, protection, status, a name that commands respect, and spends the rest of his life discovering that none of it was free. Every luxury came with a condition, every protection came with an obligation, and the life that was handed to him was never really his to begin with. If this made you think about the hidden costs behind the lives we inherit, share it with someone who needs to hear it, because the most dangerous prisons are the ones that look like home.